Now, I would like to read uh, uh, an article about my suggestions to the James Webb Space Telescope team. Uh, uh, I believe that this information will be useful for James Webb team to explore the universe. Many of probably some of you at least know about my works. First thing I want to tell you is that I am not an English speaker. My mother tongue is different, so please pardon me with my if I am not very fluent in English, so please pardon me with my mistakes. Please pardon me my mistakes. Now I want to convey some messages to James Webb team. I believe that Aether is real, and all phenomena in the universe we can explain by just adding Aether. Aether, the space-filling substance Aether, is real, and there are experimental evidences for this. In 1887, Michelson-Morley experiment, the result of Michelson-Morley experiment has shown that there is no such a thing as Aether, but I understand that that is not the case. There are other ways to detect Aether. Their conclusion is in fact was a wrong concept, wrong conclusion. In fact, based on the result of the Michelson-Morley experiment, Einstein started to develop his relativistic ideas. However, I am sorry to say that my study says that Aether is real. We can find experimental evidence for Aether. I'm going to read an article. In that you will understand in more details. So I thank you for watching me. Thank you for my viewers. I'll read this. If you have any difficulty in understanding what I am saying, or if you find any difficulty in my pronunciation, so kindly let me know. Then next time I will do more practice and come. So I hope you will enjoy this session, and welcome to you, all of you. I will read my article. The title of the article is Aether exists and James Webb Space Telescope can detect its effects. Massive bodies maintain Aether bubbles around them. This explains gravitational lensing. In this video, I would like to talk again about matter and energy, which are today generally believed as different manifestations of the same thing. According to the special theory of relativity, matter can be converted into energy, and energy can be converted back into matter. This Einstein's idea is so popular among us, and also the equation that describes it. today, I mean the 12th July 2022, this topic, that is matter and energy, is more relevant than ever in the history of science. With the fact that the latest scientific instrument which became a reality with the collaboration between the NASA, the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency to probe the universe. The James Webb Space Telescope has started to function at its full might in space at a distance of 1.5 million kilometers away from the Earth. Here, I have some new ideas to share with the James Webb team. Perhaps they will be helpful and useful in studying the universe in a revolutionary new way. I believe the mass effect that is happening across the universe has something significant thing to tell us about the long disregarded space-filling substance called ether. With the negative result of the Michelson-Morley experiment, the scientific community started to ignore the possibility of ether almost completely. In fact, later also similar type of experiments were carried out by scientists, but the result were the same. Now, at this point, I would like to share my thoughts about the space-filling ether with you. What happens to the mass effects that occurs in a particle collision experiment? What happens to the mass effect in a nuclear fusion or what happens to the mass effect in a nuclear fission or fusion reaction experiment that we conduct here on Earth? What happens to the mass effect that occurs in an active star, for example our Sun? What happens to the mass effect that occurs in neutron star collisions or in the black hole collisions? In my opinion, this is one of the most important questions ever asked by humans. The answer to this question has a huge significance in the understanding of the universe. It may open a new window to the universe. It can provide better explanations for many important phenomena in the universe. It may revolutionize our current understanding of the universe itself. Now, let's take a close look into nuclear reactions. Consider a nuclear fission reaction. When a neutron with the optimum energy collides on a 92 uranium-235 nucleus, the uranium splits into two daughter nuclei and it releases neutrons, alpha particles, beta particles, antineutrons, antineutrinos, etc. Here, the energy associated with the mass effect is released as the kinetic energy of the product fragments and the product particles, and when these collide with the surrounding particles of matter, results in the generation of a large amount of heat energy. As the energy of the colliding particles are so huge, the collisions results in the generation and emission of high energy X-rays and gamma rays along with the other energy photons. Here, the interesting thing here, the interesting thing that we see the interesting thing that we see is that there is no conversion of matter into energy. Instead, we see the missing mass and the kinetic energies of the products. When a grenade shell explodes, the chemical explosive in the shell explodes, and in a fraction of a second it becomes a superheated gas. This rapid expansion of the explosive material breaks the shell and shoots the broken pieces in every direction. Here, if you do not know about the different states of matter, that is solid state, liquid state, gaseous states, etc., people will start to think and believe that ordinary matter can be converted into energy. I will read one more time. Here, the interesting thing that we see is that there is no conversion of matter into energy. Instead, we see the missing mass and the kinetic energies of the products. When a grenade shell explodes, the chemical explosive in the shell explodes, and in a fraction of a second it becomes a superheated gas. This rapid expansion of the explosive material breaks the shell and shoots the broken pieces in every direction. Here, if we do not know about the different states of matter, that is solid state, liquid state, gaseous state, etc., people will start to think and believe that ordinary matter can be converted into energy. Therefore, I believe that the missing matter in a nuclear reaction is converted into a super thin form of matter, and this detonation of the missing matter gives kinetic energies to the products. This form of matter is so thin that there is no method currently available to detect it. If this is the case, then mass defect that occurs. If this is the case, then mass defect that occurs in all active stars in the universe, colliding stars, colliding neutron stars, colliding black holes, etc., produces the above stated super thin form of matter. That means every missing mass in the universe is converted into this type of matter. Excuse me, I'll come back. 1 second. Because you can't see my face. Sorry for interruption. Sorry. I'll come back. If this is the case, then mass defect that occurs all active stars in the universe, colliding stars, colliding neutron stars, colliding black holes, etc., produces the above stated super thin form of matter. That means every missing mass in the universe is converted into this type of matter. For hundreds of years, it had been believed that there was a space-filling substance called ether. Therefore, I would like to call this super thin matter as the ether. Since ether is still a state of matter, an individual particle of ether must have all the qualities of ordinary matter. That is, it must have mass, it could be attracted by gravity, etc. Therefore, because of gravity, every massive body should have a denser region of ether around it. A denser region of ether around it. I believe that Earth sits inside an ether bubble. The Sun sits inside a large ether bubble, and the center of the Milky Way galaxy, the galactic center, sits inside a gigantic ether bubble. Earth's bubble sits inside the Sun's bubble. The Sun's bubble sits inside the galactic center's bubble, etc. Perhaps the bubbles created by the perhaps the bubbles created by the neighboring galactic centers overlap each other also. When Earth moves, since the Earth maintains an ether bubble, the bubble also moves with the Earth, and there is no relative motion between the Earth and the surrounding ether. Therefore, there is no ether wind. Because of this, if we measure the speed of light inside an ether bubble, it will be the same in all directions. In fact, the Michelson-Morley type experiment cannot detect either. The fact that gravity can create a denser ether region around massive bodies gives a new insight into phenomena like starlight bending, gravitational lensing, gravitational redshift, gravitational time dilation, and time dilation due to speed, etc. I believe that starlight bending and gravitational lensing are simply the refractions of light. When light passes through different optical density regions, light will get refracted and bent. Now, the most awaited James Webb Space Telescope is started to function to its full capacity. Each gravitational lensing detected by the James Webb is in fact an ether bubble. This new view of the universe will be helpful to peer into the distant reaches of the universe. I hope the James Webb team will consider this new approach to studying and exploring the universe. In fact, all phenomena that are explained or predicted by the theory of relativity can be explained by just adding ether into the picture. In the coming videos, we will discuss each phenomena in detail. Thank you for watching. I am Joseph George. I am an independent researcher. I am doing my research my own. If you would like to support me, you can use YouTube super chat, something like that feature you can use. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me and joining me. Now I think James Webb live telecast will start with their new discoveries. I understand that today morning President Biden published one image of a space deep field. Now I think it's a time to James Webb. I am going to listen that. You are also you must listen to that James Webb event. I am very excited to see that. Now time is around in IST 7:55. So I think now time to wind up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you everybody. I'm going to stop this streaming. Thank you very much.